Is it live now? It should be. Still says offline for me at the moment. There we go. Hello everybody, welcome to a live stream if you're just tuning into the stream. As you can see, we are just starting live right now, and we are once again custom mod pack testing this particular mod pack, the Thinking Pack 2 mod pack. And if you guys want to try this out for yourself, there's a link in the Twitch panels. I think there's also a link, if you're watching on YouTube, in the YouTube description to this mod pack that I made that we are bug testing, trying to get it to work. And thanks to Lupus590, once again, we have made some progress along the realm of what is going on. We currently have 2 FPS at the moment. What it seems to be is some sort of a conflict between... Okay, so what's happening right now? Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to try, the idea is we're going to try going through methodically as possible, trying to identify which mod is causing the issue. Or is it Forge itself, or is it maybe the version of Minecraft or something, because I don't think I've ever used... Maybe I did use 1.12.2 actually, come to think of it. So anyways, that is what we're going to be trying today. We've also got this debug pie on the right. So you can see this giant red graph that's showing you the frames per second. And it's not supposed to be giant red like that. That indicates there is a major problem. The debug pie on the far right over there, it shows that the Minecraft tick speed is taking way too long. Let me just see if I can make this any bigger for you guys, so that you can read it a little bit easier. Video settings. GUI scale is auto. Okay, so I think the window's just a little too small. Also, the Minecraft log, for those of you guys who are trying to troubleshoot something yourself, it is going crazy right now. The log is going crazy. The log is a good place to look if you are trying to troubleshoot something yourself. I am attempting at the moment to increase the window size enough that it will switch up the size of the... Oh wow, it is doing this really slowly. I want it to switch up the GUI scale size to a size bigger. Come on. But what we are going to do today, the idea is to methodically go through... There we go, it switched up the GUI scale size. So, you still can't read it. Okay, never mind. We need to reset this to the right scale. But basically, the pie chart on the right is, come on, quit. This is gonna... We need to quit it and reopen it with the right resolution is what needs to happen here. But what we are doing today, if you guys are just tuning into the stream, the idea is, and we'll see if we get to that this time, the idea is to methodically go through and identify which mod is causing the problem. Would it be Forge itself? Would it be a particular mod? That is the idea. And one thing that we noticed is that the Minecraft log goes crazy. So it is, if you look at the Minecraft log, Minecraft game output, it says something taking too long, and then it says it keeps, like, every time you see the frame rate really slow like that, it takes, like, it just keeps spitting out log issue error messages constantly. And what it's saying, something taking too long, it says root.tick.textures took too long. It says root took too long in a different message. It says root.tick took too long in a different message. And it says, like, all kinds of things. Pretty much anything with root in it is what is taking too long. So the question is why, and what does that mean? That is the question, and that is what we were trying to troubleshoot today. So if you guys are trying to troubleshoot something of your own, hopefully this might be helpful to you guys, at least to give you some ideas. I don't know if we'll actually solve anything, but the idea is to solve anything, so we shall see. And see what we can get through. But I was going to say that debug pie on the right, by the way, if you guys don't know how to open that debug pie, basically, once we actually get there, Minecraft is loading at the moment, but once it gets loaded, then you can see how to open that. I can show you how to open that and how to get to different menus. Lupus590 pointed that out to me earlier in the week, pointed out how you can actually see more details about things by pressing different number keys once you have that debug pie open, which is very nice indeed. So, what we're going to do today, once this is going, first I'm going to demonstrate that, and we're going to see what it has to say, and then we can go ahead and continue on from there. So, We are initializing mods. The trouble with a mod pack like this is that it does take a long time to load. Because here's the thing, if we can identify what the issue is, then we can change the versions, I can release an update. Also, let me know if you guys are trying this mod pack for yourself or not. If you do and you're not having problems, I don't really have problems until turning OBS on, which is weird. Because that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen with Hypixel, it doesn't happen with... I don't think it really happened with the older Thinking Pack either. It was always a little bit slower, but not like 3 FPS kind of slow. It was, it wasn't having major issues. It was just like running heavily because of having a lot of mods. The older Thinking Pack was, but Hypixel doesn't have that problem. New version Every Sunrise didn't have that problem. Portal Gun didn't have that problem. Portal Gun in Minecraft, rather. Nothing is having that problem except for this, a Thinking Pack, which is why I'm thinking that it is an issue with the mod pack, most likely. So if we can identify what the issue is, why it's conflicting with OBS, and then I'm going to release an update for you guys that should work. And we'll see. We'll see if that works or not. Okay, but in any case, what do we have here? We are coming along. We got step 3 out of 7. 3 out of 7 is looking good. Alright. And loading the model manager. Because the weird thing is that we did disable all of the mods except for Galacticraft at one point, and it was still giving us this issue. Now, since that time, I have actually fixed OBS a little bit, because OBS had, if you guys want to see, let's switch to here. There we go. OBS here had in the, let's just extend the window so that you can see it a little bit easier. Up here in the sources list, the filters list, not filters list, the sources list, I used to have a whole bunch for the new version every sunrise. Every version required a different way of capturing it in OBS, it seems like. So I had a whole bunch of them here that only one of them was actually like shown at a time, like you can hide them, right? But they were still there. So we did simplify that, so now there's only the one Minecraft capture thing going on. So that should be better. So we will see. We will see if it works or not. Okay, once this is up and running though, we shall find out. And hopefully... See, here's my suspicion. And you guys can let me know if you guys have any suspicions about what might be going on, but my suspicion is that it could be the Forge version. Because I didn't use the recommended Forge, some of the mods needed newer than that, so I just took the latest one, which means it could have some bugs and issues in it, and so that's kind of the thing. So, we're going to have to see, because at one point, prior to simplifying the OBS capture, so that may have had something to do with it as well, but at one point I did disable all of the mods except for Galacticraft and Forge. And so... yeah, so that basically means that if that still holds true, then it probably isn't one of those mods that's the problem. It is most likely either... Also, I don't have the latest Galacticraft, I have the recommended version in this mod pack, so that... I mean, theoretically that would work better, but you never know for sure. That is why when you load up the world it says there's a new Galacticraft version available, because it's noticing that there's a new latest version, not a recommended version. The difference, by the way, for those of you guys who are a little bit more unfamiliar with bug testing things, basically the difference between latest and recommended usually often has something to do with, like, recommended has been very bug tested to make sure it's, like, stable, whereas latest has all the new features, but isn't necessarily tested yet. Normally, like, when they do big software like an iOS update or something, your Windows update or something, they often have what's called a beta program, so they don't just, like, simply call it latest versus recommended. It's like when you talk about the latest operating system, that's the one that is for full release. The beta that's not fully tested yet is not usually open for the public to use. Although sometimes it can be, but it's like a special thing you have to get. Okay, so let's get into that debug pie once again. There we go. Okay. Wait a second. Let's close that, because this is weird. Okay, so it's here's something interesting. It's running pretty slow right now, and like turning, you can see it's very choppy while trying to turn around in a circle. But the Minecraft log isn't throwing out any messages saying there's something wrong until I open F3. And then all of a sudden the messages start coming in saying that root is taking way too long. So not sure why that is, unless it's just that it's simply not sending those messages out because it's not debugging. Because there is definitely still an issue without that F3 screen, so not sure. And is it simply having F3 open? No, it's not, because there's no new messages coming up right now. Is it having the debug pie open? Yep, that's giving us loads of messages in the log. What about simply having the frame rate meter open? Nope, that's not showing anything. Oh, it did get up to 16 for a second there. We are looking for 30 FPS at least, preferably 60. The weird thing is, without OBS running, it runs around 150 to 200 plus FPS. So that is the thing. So there's something going on, some sort of conflict going on here. Not sure what exactly is involved with that. Okay. So, what we've got here, as you can see on the right, let me see if I can zoom this in at all for you. Whoops, hang on, the mouse is still captured in Minecraft. Hang on, need to press T to chat, to exit, have the mouse free. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to zoom this in for you guys, if I can do that. How do I do that without adding a second? Yeah, I think I just have to add a second source or something. Because the thing is, if I move the Minecraft around, then it's going to mess with the cropping, and I'm going to have to reset everything, and it's going to be complicated. Let's just duplicate. Copy. And we want to paste a duplicate. Come on. Okay, so it won't. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I'm trying to basically zoom it in. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. Is there an undo button? There's no undo button. So if I mess with the size of Minecraft on the screen for you guys, then it's going to be permanently messed up, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all. Okay, well in that case... Oh, you know what? Let's just create a new scene momentarily. Let's call it... Okay, let's enter studio mode so that it doesn't mess anything up. Let's just call it temp zoom Minecraft. There we go, let's try that. And gonna add to this scene, gonna add the current scene, because you can add an entire scene into a thing. So that you guys will be able to hear what is going on. There we go. And then let's add to that the Minecraft again. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now. There we go. So we got two... Hello? Hang on, we're on the wrong one. There we go. So we got two Minecrafts going on here at the moment. As you can see, there's two Minecrafts overlapping over top of each other. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the one that's on top and zoom it in. And now you should be able to see, you'll be able to read what's going on fairly soon. There we go. Okay. So now, let's just simply take a moment to set the time to day so that you can read it a little bit better. There we go. There we go. So, you can see here is the current debug pie. And as you can see, that is what is showing in Minecraft at the moment. And the tick speed is taking way too long. That, I think, is basically... now it's raining on top of everything. Okay, let's turn that off, because that adds unnecessary lag. Weather, it's hard to type when it's running so slow. Clear, there we go, /weather clear. There we go, you can see the slideshow of clearing it up. Okay, welcome to the Minecraft slideshow today, everybody. We are going ahead and watching a slideshow of Minecraft. That is what's going on right here. So, we've got the tick speed, basically that's taking 98%, if you can read that, hopefully, 98% of the time between, I think this pi is how long things are taking in between every frame, is I think basically what it's talking about in some measure. So, tick speed is taking way too long. You can see that next to where it says tick speed, it has a 1. If you press the number 1 on the keyboard, then it zooms in. It now shows you what the what everything else. Let's just move this up a bit. It now shows you the details of what is taking so. Oh. Okay, so it shows you the details of what is taking so long, and look at that. Textures. Okay, hang on. I'm going to take a screenshot of this for reference later. But, okay, wow. Textures is taking 98%. Now, you may ask, why are there two numbers? Why is there 98.45 and then 96.8? I do not know. That is a good question. But, nevertheless, it is the case that textures is taking way too long. Which textures? Let's press 1 again. Everything else is reasonable. Does it not... Oh, wait, I'm in the chat. Hang on. Okay, exit the chat. There we go. Press 1 again. Oh, wow, you can get even more detailed. Okay, so... unspecified taking 58% of the time that textures are taking. And Atlas Sprite Fluid is taking... what would that say? That's a little hard to read. Not entirely sure. I think it says 37 or something. But here's something interesting. Let's just go back to this scene momentarily. You can see, while we were there, suddenly it dropped down. You can see that it suddenly, the frame rate, like, sped up a whole lot. Oh yeah, it's going faster right now at the moment. Which is really weird. Really weird indeed. But that was, most of what we were just looking at was before it sped up. So now it is running quicker, still not nearly quick enough, but quicker than it was. And now we're getting a little bit more crazy lag again. And you can see the interesting thing is in between all those red lines, it's got green lines that are so short. The shorter the line, the faster the frame, basically. And we want the shorter lines. And they are way below the 60 line, which means that they are going so fast, those short ones. About, what would that be, maybe 120 up to like 200 or something is what it looks like, how fast those ones were coming out, but then getting interrupted by those slow frames that are red, and now we've got a giant wall again. So let's head back to the other OBS scene that you guys can see. Zoomed Minecraft. Okay, and we still have that wall of frame rate at the moment. Let's see if we can move it on screen enough that... no, it's way off here. Okay, so you guys need to be able to see this here. Okay. So, root... oh, you know what's... oh, hang on. I just noticed, if you guys can see in the... I was going to say the top left, but the top of the screen, sort of the top middle, what we're looking at right now, apparently, is root.tick.textures, I guess is what that means. And if you compare that to the Minecraft log, it says something is taking too long, root.tick and root, but it often says root.tick.textures at the same time. Let's exit. You press 0 to go back. So let's, whoops, I'm selecting OBS. Hang on. Okay, let's go back to the main level. Okay, so it says root is taking too long. Okay, so the error log right now is, well, it's technically not an error, it's technically like a warning thing, but something taking too long, root is taking too long, and root.tick is taking too long. So, we are, okay, so this is how, okay! Let's explain how the debug pie works, because it finally makes sense for those of you guys who are wondering. Basically, you can see in the, roughly the top middle of the screen there, it says 0 in square brackets, and it says root. The 0 is just the button to press to get to that layer, which we happen to be actually on that layer, so that's the farthest out layer of the debug pie. So, that is that. We've got, you know what, actually, one moment. Let's press that button. Let's press this button. Let's go ahead and add the camera, just so that you guys can see. Where's the camera? Where would that be? That would be in, Video capture device, I think that's it. Yes. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Now we are here. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Okay, let's move this over here like that. And maybe you can shrink the size a little bit. Alright. So, basically what we have here is, so we've got root on the top left. We've got 0 root. That is the layer we're in. You can see on the top right is a little hard to read because it's behind the, it's on top of the other text there, but it says 100%. So that's like, I think that's 100% of the time that is passing for every frame. Now, we can see that out of that time, we can see that down below the debug pie, it lists everything. So tick is taking 96% of the time. Now, the log says root is taking too long. It says root.tick is taking too long, and it says root.tick.textures is taking too long. So, what we want to do is we want to go and press 1, and we should see that we are selecting OBS. So it didn't work. Let's go ahead and head into Minecraft here, and now press 1. There we go. So what is taking too long in tick? Root.tick. Let's see. So now you can see in the top left it says root.tick is taking too long, and the weather again. Hang on. Weather clear, and let's do for 1 million seconds. There we go. There we go. Okay. Root.tick, and it says textures is taking 98%, everything else is reasonable. And you can see, okay, this confirms what we were thinking about how this works. In the far right there, the top right, it says 97.2%. That's like of the time that's being taken total. So, okay, so textures is taking too long. Within textures, unspecified is taking 58%, and Atlas Sprite Fluid is taking 37%. And Atlas Sprite Variance is reasonable. So, that's good. And this is, I think that says 92% of the total. It's also decreasing. You can see in the top right, 91%, 90% of the total time taken, because at the moment, the frame rate was getting better. Now it's getting worse again. But it was getting better. Okay, back to the zoomed in version. There we go. We've got here unspecified. So let's see. Question mark. Nope, that would be the slash. Okay, that opened the chat. Let's do shift question mark. Is it because unspecified doesn't have a button for it? Because unspecified says question mark, but then Atlas Sprite Fluid says 2. Okay, I don't know if you guys have any ideas what unspecified means, because it doesn't appear to want to press anything. Let's press 2 to get Atlas Sprite Fluid, because that's taking 37%, which is quite significant still. Okay, root.tick.textures, it says right over there, root.tick.textures.atlas Sprite Fluid. 1 is update, and question is unspecified. Update is taking way too long on that. Let's see. Whoa! That's a lot. Atlas Sprite Fluid.update. But you know what's interesting? So those are all the things that are taking time. But what's interesting is that none of them are specifically taking too much compared to the others. They're just all taking too much generally. What are they all? That is the question. We've got buildcraft energy blocks / fluids. Actually, that's all of them. What about even off the screen? Because there's a few more. Let's just move this up here. Yeah, so they are all the fluids that are taking too long are buildcraft energy blocks / fluids / other things. And they are all reasonable in and of themselves, but they are taking 34% of the, let's just exit here, go back a layer. They are taking 34% of root.tick.textures, it looks like. Oh, hang on. Okay, so it looks like those two rows of numbers. So you can see down there in the far right down corner there, it's got two numbers, and again, we're getting dark. We need to change the brightness so you guys can see it properly. Come on, times at 0. There we go. Okay, you can see there's two numbers, two rows of numbers. So it says tick and game renderer display update. That would be the titles. And then on the right side, it says the percentage, but it has two rows of them. And getting tongue-tied again. What that appears to be saying is let's enter tick. Actually, let's go back. It'll make it more clear if we go on game renderer, okay? Let's press 2 to get game renderer. And basically, you can see that the first row of percentages would be the percentage of the game renderer subprocess. Is that what it's called? Subprocess? So what percentage of the game renderer is being used? So GUI is using 59% of the game renderer time and using 1.7% of the total time of everything. That appears to be what it's saying. And let's check, what if we go into GUI? Then it says, yes, okay, so that appears to be what it's doing. So the first row of numbers is what percentage of that subprocess, and then the second row of numbers is what percentage of the total time, is what it appears to be saying. So, if we go back, let's go into tick, let's go into textures, let's go into Atlas Sprite Fluid. Unspecified is a little bit weird, not sure what that is. But if we go into Atlas Sprite Fluid, go into Update. Nope. Go out of Update, that's too hard to see. Okay, updating the fluids, it says, it appears to say 99% of the Atlas Sprite Fluid time is on update, and 34% it looks like of the total time, so would that be like the total frame generation time completely, is updating fluids? So, oh! You know what that means? Is it possible that we could get this fixed simply by going into a config option? Because I think there might have been a config option to be able to basically change the way Buildcraft generates fluids. I think there's been something like that before, an option to do that. So that would fix part of the problem, because here's the thing. As you can see, that is, if we go back a layer. Okay, so as you can see, unspecified is using 55% of the frame generation time. Currently it's running about 3 FPS. Unspecified is using 55%, but Atlas Sprite Fluid is using 35% of the total time, so that's still way too long. Unspecified is really what we need to deal with, but a third of the time is generating fluids, so that would be a significant benefit, and it may accidentally fix some of the unspecified in the process, and I keep forgetting that the mouse is attached to Minecraft at the moment. Let's go set the camera back there, open the chat, there we go, we can get the mouse out. So, okay, so here is the debug pie. For those of you guys who are just tuning into the stream, here is the debug pie. That is where the issue is. It is in root.tick.textures, generating that, and it is mostly unspecified, but also Atlas Sprite Fluid, which is mostly Buildcraft, is what is taking way too long. So, gonna go ahead and check the config folder for Thinking Pack 2. Let's go into the Buildcraft config folder. Detailed.properties, we got main.cfg, we got objects.cfg, assembly recipes pre-mj, and we got scripts. So assembly recipes is a folder that is empty. Scripts is a folder that is empty as well. Let's go to main.cfg. Unfortunately, you guys can't see this on the screen at the moment, but what I'm trying to do here is try to find something that says fluid. So let's do a command F for fluid. Should all fluid values be hidden? That is talking about how full the bucket is. That is not helpful. Fluid color is... okay, the rotation that items use when traveling through pipes, set to enabled for full rotation, disabled for no rotation. Okay, so this is about traveling through pipes, but we don't have any pipes. Speaking of which, what fluids do we have in the super flat world? We're on a super flat world. I think we are at level 8, I think, close to the ground. And we are basically so close to the ground, I'm not aware of any fluids in the area, so not sure what is taking so long. Next, fluid thing. Should flowing fluid values be displayed in terms of buckets per second rather than thousandths of a bucket per second, per tick? That's not helpful for generation. We want something that says how it generates the fluids graphically, I think is what's going on, the textures. Should static fluid values be displayed in terms of buckets? Okay, never mind. How much power should be required for all mining machines? How far in Minecraft blocks should pump reach in fluids? Should all fluid values... I think this is back to the top. Yeah. Okay. So, not in main.cfg, unless... Let's search for textures. Textures. Ah. Disable this if you get texture errors with Optifine. I don't have Optifine, but we do have better FPS. Could that be similar to Optifine? Okay, disable this if you get texture errors with Optifine. Disables some texture switching functionality when changing config options such as colorblind mode. Use swappable sprites is the option. That's possible. That's the only option for texture. Okay. Well, we have a texture thing in main.cfg. Let's check. There's two other files to check. Detailed.properties, and then there's objects.cfg. Let's go for objects, I think, because that might be it. Blocks, engines, items. This is just enabling them to be active in the mod completely. That's kind of the thing. Okay, what about detailed.properties? The buildcraft detailed configurations file. This contains a lot of miscellaneous options that have no effect on gameplay. You should refer to the buildcraft source code for detailed descriptions of what these do. This file will be overwritten every time that buildcraft starts, so don't change anything other than the values. And the only value it has in here is render.pipe.mis.inside like miscellaneous.inside.shade. So that's not it. So what we shall do at the moment, is we shall go to main.cfg. Let's try texture. Let's try. It says disable this if you get texture errors with Optifine. Disables some texture switching functionality when changing config options such as colorblind mode. So let's disable. It's currently enabled. Let's disable use swappable sprites. What do we think is going to happen? Nothing. Probably nothing's going to happen, but it might. What we are looking for is that. Okay, so I just changed that. We need to quit the game. But what we are looking for, as you can see, is unspecified will most likely stay the same, but Atlas Sprite Fluid is what we're looking to see different. That is the thing. So, let's go ahead and exit this. Let's see if Atlas Sprite Fluid happens to slow down, or not slow down, speed up at all. Let's see if that works. Quit game. Okay, now we will want to restart that. Let me just check because I changed the option before actually quitting the game. So let's just double check that it stayed changed. Yes, it did stay changed. It didn't reset it on quit, which is good. So, let's open a thinking pack once again. Also, Buildcraft has just had an update apparently, which maybe I should get that at some point, but it should work even without the update most likely. We shall see. 600, there we go, 1080 by 600, and open. We will see it momentarily. And that looks weird. Seeing this scene there and seeing that the webcams are overlapping each other, that looks a little weird. Okay, let's go ahead and move that down. So now it is no longer overlapping. That is good. Because we are on the scene to zoom Minecraft, that is what we are doing right here. So it has all our regular scene stuff. In case you guys are curious what is going on with that, we should see Minecraft momentarily. There we go. Let's go to OBS Display Capture into studio mode, and you should be able to see if we can switch to temp zoom Minecraft. In case you're curious, while we are waiting for it to load, what exactly it looks like here. That's what the scene looks like. So you can see here would be, basically it has 3 entries on the side here. This would be, this would be, you can take a whole scene. So here's a scene, we can add a whole scene, which is what we did. We added the number 6, behind the scenes, the Twitch scene. That's what we added here. So that grabs everything, including your mic setups, your audio, your everything visual on the screen as well. That's the easiest way to do it. And then on top of that, we added Minecraft game capture that's zoomed in. So you can see here's the zoomed out, we added zoomed in, but then it looks very weird to not have a webcam. So we just go ahead and add a webcam. That is basically what is going on here. So if it looks a little weird, like why do you have the layering? You have Minecraft and a webcam here, and then you have another Minecraft on top of the Minecraft, and then you have a webcam on top of that. That's just because it makes it a lot quicker. Getting tongue-tied right in the middle of a sentence. Basically, actually that's the usual time to get tongue-tied. Anyway, basically what happens is it makes it easier because we can just add the whole scene, don't have to recalibrate everything just to show you guys a zoomed in version at the moment. So that is the nice thing. So, let us go back to that scene. There we go. This would be here, and then this would be temp zoom. Nice. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Very nice indeed, sir. Very nice indeed. Okay. Now we will see what we have changed is we have changed, for those of you guys who are perhaps just tuning in, what we have changed is we have changed the texturing for Buildcraft a little bit. I don't think it's a setting that will actually affect much, but hopefully it does. We turned off use swappable sprites. That's the only option I could find that would actually change something. So we shall see what is happening here. Let's, you know what, in the meantime, because we're waiting for the whole thing to load, let's just go back to this scene just while we're waiting for it to load, and then let's go back into the zoom scene. So, okay, so we will see, hopefully it runs, my estimation, okay, let's make a prediction. If that use swappable sprites thing actually has any effect on this issue, if it does, that means, sorry, just got distracted because I just realized that I don't know which log anymore is connected because there's 2 of them open, isn't there? No? Yeah, it looks like there's only 1 open. Okay. But anyways, I'm going to make a prediction that if it affected anything, it will only affect the fluids and not the unspecified. But we shall find out. We shall find out. So that might make it, it might take it from 3 FPS up to 15, hopefully. Oh! Hang on, just noticed something as well. In the Minecraft log, it says it has an error. The following texture errors were found. Domain Buildcraft Energy. Domain Buildcraft Energy is missing 60 textures. Domain Buildcraft Energy has 9 locations. Unknown resource pack type net.minecraft.client.resources.legacy v2 adapter. Colon, and then it says FML file resource pack colon buildcraft compat, and then the next says the same thing, unknown resource pack type net.minecraft.client.resources.legacy v2 adapter colon, and then it says a different thing, FML file resource pack colon buildcraft builders. And the next says the same thing, except instead of saying Buildcraft Builders or Buildcraft Compat, it says just simply Buildcraft. The next one says Buildcraft Energy. The next says Buildcraft Factory. The next says Buildcraft Lib. The next says Buildcraft Robotics. Okay, so there's like something missing in the textures, is what it sounds like. The missing resources for Domain Buildcraft Energy are, and it lists a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of PNG images, textures / blocks / fluids / fuel underscore light underscore heat underscore 0 underscore flow.png. And it's like got a whole bunch of PNGs that are listed here, like loads of them. Looks like 80 or something. I don't know if it's 80, but it's a lot of them for sure. And then it says no other errors exist for domain buildcraft energy. Okay, well, at least now we've found an error that is consistent with everything else that we've been finding out. Okay, so let's go into Minecraft here, into Minecraft and attempt to see what happens. Before we enter that, let's just go to the zoomed in screen. There we go. And let's enter. Okay, so that's good to know. So we've got a log that actually shows us an error that actually makes some sense now. So that is good. So apparently, at least part of the problem, at least 35% of the problem is buildcraft energy. So maybe updating buildcraft might help that. Okay, let's open the debug pie. There we go. Something is taking too long. Root.tick took too long. Okay. And we can see it filling up, getting slower as we speak. Oh, and the frame rate just sped up, which is weird, but it still says root.tick is taking too long. Oh, and it slowed down again. Okay. So tick speed is taking 81%. Textures is taking 95 of that. Oh! Oh, hang on, this is interesting. You see what we had last time? Let's just go back to the main level here. But also, to be fair, we had the frame rate was running pretty smoothly. It is still running pretty smoothly. Okay. Well, this is interesting. So we changed a single setting and it is not working very well. As you can see though, it is struggling to stay slow. Like I'm trying to get it to stay slow to demonstrate to get a proper debug pie to test with, but it's struggling to stay slow. It's like it's actually really speeding up. It just gave us another thing. It said so root.tick was taking too long, right? root.gamerenderer.level.terrain_setup.rebuild near took too long. Okay, terrain_setup, root.gamerenderer.level. Well, let's look that one up then. Okay. Okay. So let's go in OBS, let's switch to the zoomed in scene so you guys can see it. There we go. So, what do we have here? Oh, and just after switching, the frame rate dropped dramatically, but then it sped up and now it dropped again, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh, and now it sped up again. So, okay, what do we have here? We still have a lot of choppiness. We have tick is currently taking 70% instead of 98, which is an improvement. Okay, so let's check that odd message that we had there. root.gamerenderer, that'd be 2. Here's the game renderer. root.gamerenderer.level. Where's level? Okay, so at the moment GUI's taking a lot. Level, though, was while we were walking around. root.gamerenderer.level.terrain_setup, which at the moment is way down on the list. It's at 0.1% of the total. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk around a little bit. Let's see if terrain_setup. I think what that's saying though is just that loading the terrain as we were going was taking a little too long. So yeah, terrain_setup is getting up to the top of the list here. But that is sort of to be expected. Obviously it's getting way too slow when it goes down to 3 FPS. But nevertheless, okay. Rebuild near. And what is it taking too long to rebuild? Because we don't really want lag while we're walking, although probably dealing with the biggest issue first would be helpful. Rebuild near, okay, so 1. Build near. Interesting. Oh, hello, we got some sheep and cows. We walked into the spot with the sheep and cows. Build near, so let's go and press 1 again. Unspecified once again. and then everything else is doing pretty well. So that's interesting. So this is one thing that was taking a little too long at one point. But let's go ahead and exit back to the main level. There we go. Okay. What we want to do, what we really want to do, is we want to investigate. Let's just get rid of the animals. Okay, slash kill at E all entities. There we go. And of course, it kills ourselves as well, but it gets rid of all the animals in the area so they don't take up extra render time. So, okay, so tick is taking too long still. So we want to look up. We want to look up. Let me just scroll the log down lower. Okay, root.tick taking too long. So what we've got here, we are in root.tick. Textures once again is taking too long. Inside textures unspecified. So this is very interesting. This is very interesting indeed, because prior to changing use swappable sprites in Buildcraft, it said disable this if you get texture errors with Optifine, which we don't have Optifine, but we do have better FPS, we do have other things. Okay, currently it's running at 114 FPS. Oh, 70. Okay, so it's like going up and down every couple seconds, going up and down dramatically. But anyways, so okay, so it got rid of 30%-ish of our problem, because now the fluids are not taking too long, but the unspecified is. Now, trying to identify what unspecified is talking about, not exactly easy. Not exactly easy at all. But currently, you can see the frame rate is doing a whole lot better. A whole lot better indeed. It is, obviously we don't want those red lines, but it's like 90% of it is going well. Those red lines are not. We want it to be more stable than that, but 90% of it is going well. We need to solve what unspecified is taking too long, but we also need to, let's see, if we walk around, we're getting some more lag here. Unspecified. It's not showing that the fluids are taking too long, which is good. Should we check? Okay, root is taking too long again. Root.tick is taking too long. Let's go back in our debug pie. We've got textures is still taking way too long. Okay, so it seems to be, oh, root.GameRenderer.level. Okay, it appears to be mostly the, okay, so let's go back here. Yeah, so game renderer is taking longer, but tick is going okay. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like primarily this is an issue of the textures. Now, what exactly that means, how do we fix that, I don't know, because it says unspecified, but I think perhaps if I just go through and look for everything in the configs that says something about textures, and turning this off may speed it up, and then say, yeah, speed it up, then theoretically it should be working. So that's the idea. And as you can see, it's gotten a lot slower, and that's mostly tick. Root.tick. Okay. And we are walking pretty far as well. Let's check if it still says unspecified if we go into a proper world, because that was a super flat, right? Let's go into a proper world and see if it still doesn't show the Buildcraft fluids, because that means that changing that simple config may have solved 30% of our problem, which would be very good. As you can probably see, perhaps, hopefully you guys can tell this, but it's actually struggling to stay as slow as it was before. So where we couldn't get it out of that super slow FPS before, now we're struggling to get it down to 1 to 3. Like, it does jump down there, which is far too often. If it does it once, it's too often, but it's going there way too often. But it's not really staying there the same, so that is good. Okay, so you can see we're getting 9, then we're getting 30 FPS, then 37, then 23, then 48, and 45. Okay, so it's slowly speeding up a little bit. Root is taking too long, root.tick is taking too long. So, let's investigate. Let's go over to here and zoom the Minecraft in so you guys can see it. There we go. And now, what do we have here? We got Tick is taking, we need to turn so that it's a little bit easier. It's on a oddly colored green background. Okay. Tick is taking 83% at the moment. Let's investigate that. Textures is taking too long in that. And we've got unspecified. Okay, so we don't have the Buildcraft liquid thing here either. Now, what about that error that it said that it is missing textures for those liquids? Does that mean that... Does that mean... Okay, so if we try to spawn a Buildcraft liquid, will it work? And... let's go back here. Yeah, we're getting some serious lag here, but it is... it's not staying slow, which is the good thing. I'm pretty sure if we stand still for a moment, then we will see it speed up. Yes! Okay, so it's not staying as slow as it was before, so that means that we did, in fact, solve something. We made some improvement. It's, I don't know if you guys can see this, actually. Okay, now it's gone back to slow again. So what was it said that were textures that were missing this time we loaded? Because if we can find those, then we can solve something. So let's go ahead and, okay, let's switch back to this scene here. Okay. Okay, so let's go to here. Let's set up some fluids. So, what we want to do is see if we can actually spawn the fluids or if it'll crash the game completely because of missing textures. We shall find that out. So, let's go ahead and go through the log and check what it has by way of errors. There we go. Okay, so one of the blocks that it is missing is the missing resources for Buildcraft, for domain Buildcraft energy are textures slash blocks slash fluids slash fuel. I'm trying to find something. These are all like sub-fluids. I'm trying to find something we can actually spawn ourselves. We got fuel underscore gaseous underscore heat. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to find something. Oil, maybe? Fuel, dense heat, oil, heat, to still. Okay, trying to find something that can actually be spawned. You know what, let's just try spawning things. Let's just try spawning things and see what happens. So, here we go. Alright. Into here, we want Buildcraft energy in the inventory. And here we go, head over here, head over here, head over there, head over to the other place over here, and next screen. Oh wait, not next screen, we were already there. Okay. That's Ex Nihilo. We're looking for Buildcraft energy. Looking for Buildcraft energy, looking for Buildcraft, not facades. Pluggables, pipes. What about Buildcraft, plain Buildcraft? What's on the third page? Galacticraft, plethora, Railcraft, Railcraft outfitted tracks, Railcraft decorative blocks, and chisels. So perhaps in the actual Buildcraft menu here. So far, we're not getting any... Let's disable NEI if we can. Whoops, wrong button. Wrong button. Let's, yeah, there's no button to disable. Is there a button to disable it? I don't know. Anyways, so far we've got unspecified as the only texture that's taking too long at the moment. Now, where can we find some fluids? We want to find down here. Let's go all the way down here and see where, what, who, why, when. Those are all questions. And the answer? No idea. But at least we found that it is the textures that is causing the problems. Let's try Buildcraft pluggables. Is there a fluid in here? We need some oil or something that we can place down. Oh, well, if we need oil, let's just search oil. Okay, let's do that. Oil! Whoa. Is it not even there? Okay, here's Railcraft. Okay, Railcraft. Rail miscellaneous. Oil cool bucket. Oil hot bucket. Are those Buildcraft things? Or are those other mod things? No idea. Heavy oil hot bucket. Heavy oil searing bucket. Dense oil cool. Dense oil hot. Dense oil searing. Dense oil... distilled oil cool. Oh, okay, so could this be all Buildcraft stuff? Wait, creosote oil. I think that is the Railcraft mod. Okay, cable facade. That's applied energistics here. We've got filled oil canister from Galacticraft. Oh, oil spring from Buildcraft. Yes, that is what we're looking for. Perhaps. And item.globoil.name. Okay, do we want to spawn an oil spring? Is that how this works? Can we go ahead and place that down and get a whole lot of oil from it? Let's find out. We want to... Actually, we can't even see where with the giant red wall in the way, we can't see our item. Okay, here we go. Let's scroll to this slot. Oil spring. Is this gonna crash the game or something? We shall find out. Place it down. Did it not place down? It didn't place down. Okay, place it down. And nothing. How does this oil spring thing work? Do you have to break it now? Nope, that didn't work. Okay, so it didn't spawn any oil. How do you do this? Well, let's check the... Okay, let's check the list of things that were... Okay, close the info, close the warn, close the debug. What we want is error. We want to see that... Where did it go? Okay, there's been more errors thrown up since that time from the JEI mod. But that's not interesting at the moment. We're looking for this. Okay, so those random oil buckets that we found, are they actually helpful? Let's see. Are they actually Buildcraft? That is the question. We've got oil cool bucket. Oh, oil distilled heat to still. Okay, so oil, distilled oil, hot. Oh, so it looks like this could be Buildcraft, possibly. No idea, but Buildcraft does have things with oil. Let's grab a couple of them. But the interesting thing is, as you can see, they all look the same, which I'm guessing is not supposed to happen. I'm guessing that's because of changing the config there. Okay. Let's place this down if we can. And yep, okay, texture's missing, as you can see. So that would be a missing texture. Whoop, and we are sinking in oil. Okay, that's not ideal. Let's head over here. Let's check, actually, for the sake of testing this, let's place down the other bucket of oil over there, and it should look exactly the same. Yes, it does. Okay. So what should happen, we should be able to, come on, we need to get to a place where we can see this. Whoa, did it actually, oh, I think the one bucket overruled the old one, the other one. Because it's missing. Okay, let's exit the F3 so that we can actually see something here. Okay, let's head over this way, place down the first bucket of oil here. There we go. Okay, we are running really slow, but as you can see, we've got 2 buckets of oil there with no textures. Now, for the sake of curiosity, for the sake of thoroughness, let's find out. We disabled use swappable sprites, but if we re-enable that, will we get textures, or will we not? And will we get the issue again with the slowness? The extra debug pie entry that was taking 33% of the time. So, true. Use swappable sprites. True. Play. And set the resolution once again. Have to do that every single time. 1080 by 600. There we go. And play. And while this is loading, gonna just simply look up because apparently Buildcraft has had an update since being added to the mod pack. And what has it changed? Has it fixed something by way of fluids? Because if I'm not mistaken, Buildcraft is actually still in beta. So that is not surprising that it may have some issues. So let's see. Buildcraft. Go to the Twitch launcher over here, actually. Browse. Add more content. While we wait for Minecraft to load, let's find out what Buildcraft has changed. Okay, build craft. There we go. And changelog. That is a very short changelog. We want to find something a little more thorough than that. Okay, on the way. Minecraft is on the way, and what has Buildcraft changed? That is the question. And the answer would be, hang on. Okay. The answer would be, well, first of all, what version do we have currently? Because that'll tell us how it's changed. So we have Buildcraft all 7. What's that say? 7.99.24.4. So what does it have here? It has 7. Ah, 7.99.24.4. Okay, 7.99.24.5 is the new one. And what does it say? Where do you find what it says? Ah, changelog. Okay. It's still in beta, but it says added a lot of config options for how the quarry operates. Quarry max tasks per tick, quarry task frame. Quarry task power divisor, quarry max frame move speed, quarry max block mine rate. Improved the performance of the pump a bit, improved the performance of the quarry event listener a lot, randomized the iteration order of quarries. This allows multiple stacked quarries to mine out different blocks at once, which looks a lot better than before. Bug fixes. Add more information to the crash report to help issues like issue 4513. Not sure what that is. Only register oil biomes if they are enabled in the config rather than always. Fixed Stirling engines pausing time when they reached overheat. So now if something started to burn, it will always continue burning out. However, the next item won't be started. And then it's got, looks like some other bug fixes. Fix message util sharing a delayed queue with the server, the client. Fix the 2D filler patterns not rotating correctly. Fixed some Buildcraft blocks within inventory dropping more items than they should. Fix a crash when an item has an empty tooltip. Okay, so it doesn't sound like it fixed a fluid issue, although it's possible that it did if a fluid issue was related to one of the issues that it has fixed. So, let's go back in here. We have now, for those of you guys, if you've forgotten what we just did, because it was quite a while ago because that takes so long to load. Basically, we have re-enabled that option to use swappable sprites for textures. We've re-enabled that, so now it should be slowing it down some more. Oh, okay, so re-enabling that, you can see now we actually have textures for oils. So we have 2 different oils here, and in the F3 screen, we have the need to zoom it in so you guys can see it. Okay, here we go. We have... Tick is taking too long. We've got in here, we've got textures. We've got in textures, we've got Atlas Sprite Fluid. There we go. Okay. Yes. Atlas Sprite Fluid is back. So, use swappable sprites. The Buildcraft option right there is slowing it down a lot. You can see Atlas Sprite Fluid is back, and it is taking 30% of the time, taking too long. Now the only other question is, does it actually go away when we disable that option, or does it move into unspecified? But here's the thing though, like basically what I'm wondering is if it just reclassifies it differently and classifies it as unspecified instead of Atlas Sprite Fluid. But here's the thing, is that if you see the FPS meter... Oh, and actually, while we're here, I'm just going to double check the Atlas Sprite Fluid and see... Oh, that's interesting. Hang on, let's zoom this in. Temp zoom Minecraft. Oh yes, update, that's right. Update, and inside update we have Yeah, it's just every fluid put together is taking too long. So, back here, back here. Okay, let's go back to here. As you can see, the frame rate actually is so much slower than before. So the frame rate that we were getting before re-enabling use swappable sprites, when we didn't have that Atlas, what did it call it? When we didn't have that Atlas sprite fluid option in the debug pie, we were getting, our frame rate was a little bit better than this. It was like, this is a solid wall of 1 and 2 FPS, but we were getting a better FPS than that by a bit. Okay, and we also now have the option to see the textures. So, one last thing to try, and that thing is updating Buildcraft. Let's just do that, because this means that we will have found about 30% of the problem. So that would be very good. So let's just simply go here, and I'm gonna actually delete the config files for Buildcraft just before doing this. That may be a bad idea. It may break things, but it may not. Why does the recycle bin take so long sometimes? I said delete, and it removed, but there's nothing in the recycle bin. I want to actually, you know, like, remove it completely. Like, that would be nice. Recycle bin, come on, hurry up. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now it's got something in it. Empty recycle bin. Okay. Yes, empty. And now it's taking a long time again. There we go, now it's empty. Okay. So, deleted the Buildcraft config. Gonna try to do this without reinstalling the whole mod pack. Gonna try to do this as easily as possible. Like, as thoroughly, I mean, as possible. So, update Buildcraft. And hello. Ah, there we go. It changed it from .4 to .5. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And now play. And close the... Wait. Hang on. It's still partially open. Okay, there we go. Now play. Now it should open the Minecraft launcher again. And we shall see it fairly soon. Set the resolution, 1080 by 600. And open that. Minecraft game output is here. And is coming along, and we now have the game momentarily. Because it did change something related to oil biomes. Says only register oil biomes if they are enabled in the config rather than always. So it changed something related to fluids, loosely related, so it's possible that they affected something else at the same time. That's possible. Oh, and also something to check is with, because we currently have the... Okay, so it should be showing a Buildcraft folder here momentarily. Once it gets everything loaded. That error, so when we turned off that special fluid renderer, when we turned that off and the textures disappeared, it showed us an error in the log saying that there were no textures for it. But does it show the same error when we have that option enabled versus disabled? Because that's the question to find out. So at least we found... Okay, so that's good. We're making some progress. We're making some progress indeed. Initializing mods. We're almost up and running here. Well, almost, as in like halfway. Ah, okay, so now there's a Buildcraft config there. And sounds like they expanded the config folder, so that sounds like a good thing. So that's nice. Alright. This is always a hard time. It's like, okay, we're just waiting for a loading screen. How do you keep commentating and keep things interesting while waiting for a loading screen? That is the question, and the answer would be no idea, but we will see. Okay, so anyways, we've got it coming along. So, okay, so if you guys have any guesses on what unspecified texture renderer is, then let me know. I think probably the best thing to do is just go through all of the go through all of the config files, anything that says textures and speed up, and then say yes. Or if it already said yes, then say no. You know, just like invert everything and see if one of them fixes it. That's kind of probably the best way to do it, most likely. So, we updated Buildcraft. Is it going to give us a better speed or not? No idea. Finishing up. Nice, finishing up. All right. And there we go. And now, single player and test FPS. Let's go in there. So this is without our customized Buildcraft config. This is with everything the way it's supposed to be, but with an updated Buildcraft. So that is what's going on, and we shall see that. What it looks like is like this. Okay, we've got the fluids. We need to check the debug pie. Let's zoom this in. Whoa, okay, our FPS generator is a little bit running behind here. That's weird. It's like filling into the right. There we go. Okay, that's better. Actually, it's running reasonably quickly, or spoke too soon. It seems to be slowing down pretty quickly as well. Okay. Temp zoom Minecraft. There we go. Okay, zoom the Minecraft. We want to go ahead and check the pick speed is taking way too long. The textures are taking way too long. The Atlas Sprite Fluid is taking 36%. So, what this means, and there's no particular one that's taking too long, right? Update, and nope, they're all about the same. So, what this means, whoops, opening the inventory, didn't mean to do that. What this means is that we have an option. We have a choice. We have the choice of, first of all, it only solves a third of the issue, but we have a choice of, do we want to see the fluids, or do we want them to be that purple weird texture thing for all the fluids in Buildcraft, but have a little bit more speed so that the game's more playable. Let me know what you guys think about your opinion, or if there's another way to get around this, or if basically if what else is going on, because unspecified is still taking too long, and that's going to be harder to track down. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all of that, if you have any opinions on that issue. And for now, I'm going to have to call it an end to the stream here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream and find it helpful and all of that. And whoops, the mouse is still connected with the Minecraft. Okay, but in any case, for now, see you guys later, and see you guys on Wednesday for another live stream on YouTube, or on next Friday for, hopefully, I will have had the time to get this fixed by next Friday, now that we got the issue, or at least we're getting closer to finding the issue. But we will see. We will see if it will be another bug testing bug testing week, or if it'll be actually starting the thinking pack. That is the question. So in any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream, and see you guys later.